Welcome to our overview of 3rd grade Inheritance and Variations of Traits. In the previous unit, Interdependent Relationships in Ecosystems, students built an understanding of the relationships between the traits of an organism and survival in a habitat, that being part of a group helps animals obtain food and defend themselves, and for any particular environment, some kinds of organisms survive well, some survive less well, and some cannot survive at all. The idea that being part of a group helps animals obtain food and defend themselves and cope with changes connects to the idea that reproduction is essential to the continued existence of every kind of organism. Reproduction connects to inheritance, and that many characteristics of organisms are inherited from their parents. Other characteristics result from an individual's interactions with the environment, which can range from diet to learning. Many characteristics involve both inheritance and environment. Students begin this unit by using information in the text about the life cycles of different plants and animals to support claims about the diversity of life cycles. The performance expectation includes students developing models. Students use the models to describe that although organisms display life cycles that look different, they all follow the same pattern. As we look at pages 44 through 47, students are presented with information about the life cycles of the butterfly, frog, and mammal. The butterfly and frog include a visual model for their respective life cycle. As a facilitator, use these models to have students discuss the purpose of the model, what's included within the model, and what information can be drawn from the model. Students will need to eventually develop their own model showing their understanding of life cycles, so this discussion will help students understand what should be included in an effective model. The text on pages 18 through 21 allows students to continue to examine the patterns of life cycles between living organisms by focusing on the life cycle of plants and elements of effective models demonstrating life cycles. Students conclude the first set of lessons and performance expectation by selecting a living organism and developing a model to show its specific life cycle. Key components of the model should be the organism itself, birth, growth, reproduction, and death, and allow students to describe the relationship between these components. For instance, without birth, there is no growth. Without reproduction, there are no births. The next series of lessons, 5 through 12, are connected to 3 separate but related performance expectations on traits and variations between traits. As the base of this set of lessons, students in Lesson 5 are continuing to expand their knowledge of traits from their experiences in the unit on interdependent relationships in ecosystems by specifically examining traits for a species. In Lesson 6, students are using the text, pages 52 and 53, to continue to examine traits, but are learning about non-physical traits that are developed through learning or that are behaviors inherited from parents. In Are You My Parents?, students are examining the relationship between the physical traits of puppies to determine who their parents are. In this activity, have students interpret the relationship between the puppy and the parents by describing the pattern of similarities and differences that exist between the 2 generations. Pages 48 through 51 introduce students to adaptations and how these adaptations are inherited traits, and how they promote survival. Lesson 9, Camouflage. Students act as predators as they pick up as many visible fabric squares as possible from the environment, which is represented by the large piece of fabric. As you are facilitating Lessons 8 and 9, this might be a good opportunity to have students use evidence from these experiences to discuss how adaptations can either promote or hinder an organism's life cycle. Lesson 10 uses the text, pages 10 through 13, to allow students to examine the traits and adaptations that help plants survive in different environments. Lesson 11 has students apply this knowledge to create a plant that would survive in a given environment such as the desert, rainforest, or Arctic. This lesson may require some additional research by the students to become familiar with the structure and characteristics of plants found in these unique habitats. This unit concludes with having students examine how the traits of plants can be influenced by the environment through a web simulation or a lab experience. As it will take several weeks to grow your own plants, please contact contact us in advance to request the necessary materials if you are planning on conducting this lab. As you are planning the activities for this unit, please feel free to contact us with any questions, to request support, or share any ideas.